She didn't leave because you were boring. Not because your car wasn't new, or your texts got shorter, or because you forgot the name of her favorite candle that night in late October. She left because something inside her was already packing long before she met you. And that was never your fault. Here's the truth no one tells you after a breakup. You weren't rejected. You were simply caught in the crossfire of a woman at war with her own heart. You were her calm, her safe place. And sometimes, that's exactly what terrifies someone who's only ever known chaos. I used to ask myself, what did I miss? I replayed every moment, every dinner, every laugh that suddenly felt hollow once she began to drift. And like most, I blamed myself. Because we're taught to believe our worth is measured by how long someone chooses to stay. As if her leaving was a sign of some invisible flaw we failed to fix in time. But with time, and a lot of silence, I realized something. Her leaving wasn't about what I lacked. It was about what she wasn't ready to give. She once told me I made her feel safe. I took it as a compliment, but I missed the unspoken part. To someone who's used to sharp edges and turbulent love, safety doesn't feel like home. It feels like a trap. She was used to fires that burned, not warmth that healed. So when I came with stillness, she didn't know what to do with it. She thought love had to hurt, that if it wasn't loud and messy, it wasn't real. So she ran, not because I hurt her, but because I didn't. When storms are all you've known, clear skies feel suspicious. You start to believe, if I had just been more this, less that, maybe she would have stayed. But here's what Stoicism taught me. You are not responsible for healing wounds you didn't cause. You are not the redeemer of her past. You are not the therapist for the pain she's never spoken about. You are not the punishment for the men who came before you. You were the mirror, and she couldn't face the reflection. You showed her peace when she still craved noise. You offered presence when all she'd known was absence. And that scared her more than being alone ever could. Because presence requires accountability. It says, I see you, all of you. And when someone isn't ready to be seen, they run. They don't tell you the truth. They say, it's not working, or you deserve better, as if kindness can soften the blow of abandonment. But what they really mean is, I don't know how to receive the love I've always begged for. And it's easier to leave than to learn how. So you're left staring at a blank screen, composing a message you'll never send. Still believing, deep down, that maybe this was your fault, but it wasn't. You were present. You were kind. You were real. No, not perfect, but solid. She didn't leave because of your realness. She left because she couldn't meet you in the depth you were ready for. And that's the part most men never heal from. Because we confuse love with worth. But her leaving said nothing about your worth, only about her readiness. I remember walking through a bookstore weeks after she left, passing titles she used to love, smelling pages that still carried the echo of her perfume. And for the first time I smiled. Not because I wasn't hurting, I was, but because I finally understood. She didn't leave for someone else. She left because quiet scared her, and I was quiet. I was steady. I was sure of her. You ever be sure of someone who's unsure of themselves? It's exhausting. It's like loving a ghost. You can hold her, but she's always halfway out the door. That's what Stoicism gave me. The ability to love without losing myself, to offer without begging, to remain still, even when she's spun. Because a stoic man doesn't chase someone who needs to flee. He watches, he accepts, and then he returns to himself, not bitter, not broken, but clear. Because love doesn't always end with a villain. Sometimes it ends with two people walking at different speeds through the same fire. She left because her soul was still searching for a fight, and you had already put your sword down. You knew love didn't have to be war. It could be gentle. It could be two people sitting in silence, feeling completely safe without needing to fill it. But she wasn't there yet. And maybe she never will be. And that's okay. Because the woman meant to stay. She won't fear your stillness, she'll crave it. She'll see your peace not as boredom, but as strength. She won't flinch when your eyes see too much. She'll meet them, knowing she's finally home. So if she left, let her. Let her choose chaos if she must, but don't follow. Because you weren't meant to become a storm just to make her feel familiar. You weren't made to shrink just to keep her close. And most of all, you're not here to bleed every time someone can't handle how deeply you feel. Her leaving wasn't your failure. It was her fear. And you did the bravest thing a man can do. You stayed soft in a world that told you to harden. So now, let yourself mourn. Let yourself remember. Let yourself say her name one last time. And then close the chapter. Not with bitterness, but with understanding. Because this was never your fault. And one day, you'll meet someone who isn't terrified of your peace. Someone who sees your presence not as pressure, but as protection. Someone who says, I've known chaos. I've danced with it. But with you, I finally feel quiet. And when that happens, you'll understand. The others weren't wrong. They just weren't ready. So stay soft. Stay still. Stay grounded. Not for them, but for you. Because real love never needs chasing.